Our friends over at Meta have given me early access to Battlemarked, the Demeo and Dungeons & Dragons crossover that promises the ultimate Dungeons & Dragons experience, the likes of which we've never seen before. Demeo did a fantastic job of building the foundations of a tabletop dungeon crawler in virtual reality, and has traded in the old D12 for a shiny new D20. Have they done enough with the seemingly match made in heaven skin of Dungeons & Dragons? Let's find out. So for those who don't know what a Demeo is, let me quickly get you up to speed. Demeo is a highly rated VR game brought to us from the Veterans Resolution Games. It launched in 2021 and shortly after had a cross-compatible flat-screen version for PC and PlayStation. It's a turn-based tabletop combat game where you pick a character of a class, such as the Guardian or Ranger, get your hand of cards that allow your character to act in unique ways, and then crawl through a dungeon. You've got to clear rats, spiders, trolls and spectres. Each dungeon is usually around 3 levels, culminating in a boss battle at the end. The game got constant comparisons to Dungeons & Dragons, which irked me a little as I'm big into my tabletop games, and Demeo is much more akin to something like Hero Quest or Fantasy Flight's Descent game. There's nothing in Demeo outside of combat. There's no skill checks based on your character's ability to perform, there's no character progression, and there's no interaction with the living world around the dungeons. Don't get me wrong, it's a bloody good fun game, but D&D it's not. So of course Battlemarked gets announced and everyone's excited. What's new? Most of the gameplay, moving your character, card play, that kind of thing is the same as Demeo, which we already know is solid. So I'm going to keep this review to the new things found in this game. Going in, I predicted this would just be a skin using the fantastic copyright protected creatures owned by Wizards of the Coast, such as the classic Demogorgon, Beholder, Mind Flayer, that kind of thing. Which there is a few of those things, but also so much more. As you jump in, the first thing you'll do is create a character, instantly getting me excited. You pick from a handful of preset races and classes that go hand in hand together. Each character has abilities that come with that class, usually granting a new card for your hand, or sometimes often a permanent buff. Each character also has a primary stat that's one of the 6 stats very familiar to Dungeons & Dragons players. Each come with their own abilities similar to the class benefits. They are strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom and charisma. The primary stat is locked in per character and you can't change it. For instance, the Dragonborn Paladin must choose strength as a primary, whereas the human ranger is locked in with dexterity. You then get your pick of secondary from one of the 6 stats. These stats will upgrade with experience, making them more and more powerful as you go. You then get to choose a name and the colour of your character's clothes and skin, and away you go. Hey look, it isn't the level of customization found in something like Baldur's Gate 3, but it's better than I was expecting, and it's enough to make me feel like the character's my own. So far, things are looking good. So you pick a party of 4 using your own character and then 3 more, be it friends that can join in, or you can hire 3 of the other generic characters to fill the gaps that you control yourself. Next you start off with one of 2 campaigns. Campaign's a funny name they've given it, it's more of an adventure module. One is based in Neverwinter, where you'll have to act a neutral party and mediate the conflicts between elves who live in the woods and Neverwinter residents who cut trees for their own resource. The second campaign, and in my opinion the superior of the 2, is based in Icewind Dale, where war threatens the residents of 10 towns. For those who have played the D&D module Rime of the Frostmaiden, there'll be some familiar locations and story beats for you to enjoy. The tutorial comes around and you get into some combat. It's normal Demeo kind of things. Use the cards in your hand to cast spells or do abilities. To attack, you roll a d20 wherein one side is a critical, one side is a miss, and all the others hit. Classic Demeo stuff. Now, during the tutorial, you get into a small voice-acted snippet where you're made aware of something to investigate. When you do, the game asks you to perform a skill check, just like in D&D. When these situations happen, the game often gives you a list of options, each with their own difficulty based on your skills. When you choose, say, a dexterity-based option using your character whose primary stat is dexterity, you're given a target number to hit and made to roll on an actual d20. Whether you pass or fail, a different outcome will occur. Okay, cool, so we have skill checks. This is really good, until I get a little confused. Remember when I said your character has a primary and secondary skill? Well, you don't get any stats for the others. So I'm not sure what determines a skill check's difficulty for those skills that aren't on my character sheet. As I played the game more and more, the areas where I used skill checks really began to fall flat. Nowhere in the game are there any options to investigate or change up the battlefield using a skill check that I myself can choose. Anytime you're asked for one, it's completely random at the start of your turn. If you fail the check, it could even result in you taking some damage. Great, so I'm in the middle of a clutch moment. I've got 1 HP left with my wizard and everyone else is dead. I just need to let off this last fireball to win. But wait, the game suddenly decides by itself it's going to ask my wizard for a skill check where the only option for success is a strength test. Of course I fail, take damage and lose the game. Skill checks in Battle-Scarred are an afterthought. At first you'll be excited for them, but as you play you'll realise they don't offer you any choice, and that's a shame. I would have liked to see something like a rickety bridge that spans a gap that could get you to your objective faster. Okay, take a dexterity check, and if you pass you make it, if you don't you fall to the lower level and take damage. Risk and reward that I had to choose over. Okay, so once the tutorial is over, you're taken to a world map of Dungeons & Dragons' very own Faerun, where you can choose from a few destinations. In Campaign 1, you'll be set near Neverwinter, where you can go to an elf refuge in a treetop, the Emerald Tavern. You won't be fighting here, but rather having conversations with residents to pick up quests and find out information. This is wicked. This is what Demeo needed to justify those Dungeons & Dragons comparisons way back when in the first title. You'll be going back and forth, unravelling mysteries and fighting all sorts of foes in lots of different locations to progress the well-written stories. I had a great time throughout the 2 campaigns and can't wait to see what's next. In these stories you'll meet a whole host of characters that all have different personalities and motives, each one you interact with fully voice acted, which really adds to the flavour of the game. Great decision. If this game just gave you text to read, I think I would have struggled. Inside the Emerald Tavern is a kobold, little dragon man the stature of a goblin. He wants you to do a fetch quest and find his music sheets. Once you return him with all the sheets, he plays you a lovely little tune of Neverwinter.
Thank you for finding Deacon's sheet music. Deacon is most grateful. Do you want Deacon to play the Song of Neverwinter for you?
Great stuff. Interactions like these make Battlemarked so much more than the dungeon crawler that came before. Throughout the stories are boss battles, but this time round the stakes feel higher. You'll care about who you're fighting because you know the risk they pose to the outside world. Right, let me wrap this up. I expected the D&D part of Battlemarked to be a reskin. I didn't expect much. But what we actually have here is a game that's pleasantly surprising. It's 70% Demeo and 30% D&D. There's a lot of great story here, especially if you're a fan of D&D and already know these creatures and locations. I think there are some missed opportunities with the skill checks, the core of D&D, which is a shame, but it's not like there's nothing. If you're a fan of real-life tabletop experiences, online multiplayer experiences in VR, or strategy games that require you to take your time and decide upon optimal outputs, then Battlemarked is a must-have VR title. Thanks for watching Goosey Goggles VR. My name's Dan as always. See ya!